You're watching the Survivors to Thrivers podcast. And in today's episode, I want to talk to you about a couple of old frustrations. We all work through frustrations, right? Well, these are two of mine about being safe and about one new hope. And it's not the Star Wars one. Stay tuned. If you're a survivor of violence and are ready to get control of your life again, you're in the right place at the right time. This is the Survivors to Thrivers podcast with your host, Cranford Blackman. Hey everybody, Cranford here. Welcome to another episode of Survivors to Thrivers podcast. This is episode 21. Thank you for sticking with me and listening to what I have to say, because it really is about helping you be safer and living a better life. Now, as I said in the introduction, I'm going to talk to you about a couple of frustrations that I've had. Now, I'm not just going to cry and moan about stuff that I'm not happy about. This is important, okay? So don't tune me out. I want you to pay attention to this. One of the things that has really frustrated me over the years, even back before I was teaching classes, was the number of people who just didn't think they needed any sort of safety education, how to be safe, how to protect themselves. Way back when I first started even thinking about teaching courses, this is way back when I was in college. It was about watching women on a college campus where I went to school in Georgia, and they all walked around with their heads down. They're walking like this, looking at a book or their arms or the ground, not looking at anybody walking around. And it drove me nuts. I was a police at the time, and there was a bad guy attacking girls on the campus. Police hadn't caught him yet. I was new to the force, but I knew about it. And so every time I would see these women, they were just, and I'm not just talking about the young girls who were freshmen. Even the staff, the faculty would walk around like that. And it would just drive me crazy. I just want to shake them by the shoulders and go, look up. Just get your head up so you can at least see what's going on around you. Well, that has carried over for a long time, because since I started teaching classes and marketing my classes, locally, because I live in Alabama, northern Alabama, northern central Alabama. So I was marketing locally, right? Because I'm doing local courses in churches and schools, in private companies that would open their doors or their training areas to us. And something that was really difficult for me, because I know that my program can make anyone safer. The thing that was a real challenge for me was when people who would hear about my program and go, oh, I don't need that, I carry a gun. Or, no, I don't need that, I took self-defense classes. Or, no, I don't need that, my husband's police. Well, anyway, that was very tough for me, because I know that those women still need some basic understanding of how to be safe. Well, I started teaching, and it turns out that the majority of the women that were in my class were either, one, a daughter whose dad or mom made her come to my class. And generally they weren't happy about it to start with, but by the end of the class, they were very excited that they were there and they had learned a ton. The rest of the women were pretty much survivors of violence. The vast majority of them that I talked to had experienced some sort of violence, whether it was something that happened to them or to their daughter or to a mom or a close friend. So violence had been in their life. So it was really frustrating to me that the only women who were interested in this program of mine that could keep women safe, or a lot safer anyway, much, much safer. The only women that were interested in it were women who had already been hurt or had violence in their life. And I am so proud and joyful to be able to teach those survivors of violence my program, because it does make them safer. It does give them a greater sense of control about their surroundings, and not only what goes on around them, but what happens to them and how they respond. They now know what to do if something bad happens. So it was just really difficult for me to think about all the women who said, nah, I'm good, because they've never experienced violence. And it just terrifies me that the women who have never experienced violence are making themselves more susceptible to it, to violence, to being targeted, by not having any sort of a plan other than, I carry a gun, my husband's in the Army, and it's just not enough. So that was my first big frustration, to know that so many women who could keep themselves from ever being targeted by violence just don't have a desire to learn something. Now, I'm not saying every woman doesn't, just the women that I've talked to, and that's in my local area. And if you have, longed for something that you could learn where you are, I'm getting ahead of myself. So let me go back to these frustrations, that there are so many women who haven't experienced violence, which I'm very happy about. I hope they never experience violence. But that none of those women that I've met are really interested at all in learning anything about being safe. And as I said, I'm proud to be able to help the women who have been hurt to live a safer, more in control life. So what's the other frustration? I'll tell you. So the second frustration is that I just can't reach enough people. I mean, sure, I've reached a lot of people in my local area, in a couple of cities around me, in the surrounding counties. That's great, but it's not enough. I live out in the country, which means even though my county's a good-sized county, there's not a ton of people here. But there's more people in one or two counties of New York or Maine or California or Washington than there are in my entire state. And if I add in the other women around the country, I mean, there's billions of women that I can help, but I can't reach. Well, I'm working on that. There's only one of me, and it's just frustrating to me to know that I have such an effective program and I can't get to those women. A challenge of there being only me, because I'm the only one that teaches my program. I created it. No one else teaches this. This isn't in any school. It's not on any campus. It's not in any domestic abuse survivor program. It's not in any sexual abuse survivor program. Not yet, anyway. So that brings me to the new hope. I've talked about my frustrations, and now I want to tell you the good news. A little bit about the good news. I don't want to spill the beans completely, but chances are you'll start getting a pretty good clue as to what I'm up to. Now, I know I missed last week's podcast. I apologize for that. And it's possible that I might miss a few more over the next few months. I will try very hard to get some episodes out there with some really usable information for you, okay? But the reason I missed last week, and then I might miss a couple more, is that I'm working on a new program with the help of some very smart ladies. I'm working with a woman who's an expert, not in what I do, but in how I do what I do. And I've also got a great coach now everybody needs a coach, right? I never believed that, but man, I sure do like having one now, who is very connected with the groups of people that I'm trying to help. So I'm very excited about that. Not only is she focused on helping me achieve what I'm creating for you, she also understands exactly who it is that I'm trying to take care of. So this new hope that I'm talking about, the thing that I'm creating, did that look scary? I don't mean to be scary. The thing, I'm like in a movie. I don't know what to do with my hands. The thing that I'm creating will help with both of the frustrations. For one, it will help me reach more women. So right now there's only one of me, but soon that may change. No weird cloning stuff here. Just some good, smart productivity and new ideas that I'm picking up from these experts that I'm getting help from. And I'm excited about it. Now, if there's more of me so that I can reach more people, those people who are survivors of violence will hopefully tell their friends who have never experienced violence. I want them to tell their friends and their family, their girlfriends, anybody. I want them to hear about my program, and I want them to say, you know, I went through this program, and if I had learned this before the terrible thing that happened to me, I don't think it would have happened. So you, my best friend, I want you to learn about it so that nothing ever happens to you. You, my daughter, who nothing has ever happened to, thank goodness. I want you to learn this so that you have tools to keep the terrible things that have happened to me, your mom, from happening to you. That's what I want to happen. So this new hope and new idea I have going on, new program, I bet you guessed that already, it's a new program, will just be so good. I'm excited about it. I hope you can tell, and I hope you're excited about it. And I'm going to drop a little request here, which will also be a kind of a hint. Boy, it looks like I'm having something wrong with my neck, right? But I'm not, other than excitement. It's pushing up into my head. If you work with an organization, whether it's a sorority, a church program, a abused women's shelter, any sort of organization like that, whether you work with them or maybe you have a friend or a family member who does, and they serve survivors of violence, or maybe they serve women who are at risk. And I said sorority because I know several sororities have safety programs that help the girls in their sorority and other girls on college be safe, especially those young, brand new freshman girls who are coming in and have no idea of what to expect from college. So if you are in one of those groups I've talked about, or something like that I didn't mention, or have a friend, please forward them this video, okay? Just forward it, do a thumbs up for me so that people can find it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what organization you're connected with, or that your friend is connected with, that maybe I should be looking for an email from, okay? Because there's going to be something terrific they can offer those women that they do not have right now. Something to give them a sense of confidence, a sense of control around their environment, and of how they respond to what's going on in their environment towards them. That's a good feeling. Confidence is nice. Self-esteem is good. To be able to walk with your head up and look around courageously, that's wonderful, especially for somebody who's already experienced violence, like me and so many of you. So please do share this with them. Tell them, listen, get his email address, which is Cranford CRANFORD at labcaf.com, LABCAF.com, and just drop me a note. Let me know that you want to hear what this program is. And you can subscribe to the channel here too. Or go over to the website, labcaf.com, and subscribe over there to the email list. Okay? Or get on the contact list over there. Send me a note. Let me know who those people are. And even better, you tell them so they contact me. I don't want them thinking I'm some sales guy calling with a pitch. But anyway, do that. And in the next episode, I'm not going to talk about this too much. I mean, it probably won't be available until late December or early January. But I'm working really hard on it. And you're going to like it. You're going to love it. I love it. So just the idea of helping so many more people. I'm excited. Anyway, until next time, as we keep moving from survivors to thrivers, this is Cranford Blackman with LabCaf, reminding you to stay safe and stay strong. See you next time.
To make sure you never miss an episode of Survivors to Thrivers podcast, subscribe at labcaf.com.
That. I can't pronounce the word that. Is that English really is my first language.